In this day and age, it's so easy to shop and spend money unnecessarily. We have such easy access to a variety of sometimes high quality, pretty affordable goods from our homes, even from our couches. We don't even have to stand up to buy things these days. Quite often we have those apps with our credit card information, and it's so easy to just click a button and have something arrive in like 3 to 5 days. And the problem is that sometimes those little purchases, while they feel harmless in the moment, can really add up over time, especially if this little bit of shopping becomes a habit. And it can take away from those big picture opportunities in life. Things like education, like having good medical care, like paying off debt or retiring early. Real opportunities that could change the quality of your life. And so my hope with this video is that I can think of things that I'm planning not to buy in 2024 just to try to curb some of that spending a bit, to bring in the new year with a little bit more intention and thoughtfulness about my spending. And I also hope maybe it can serve as a way to jog your thoughts around what maybe you don't want to be spending money on in 2024. The first category is throw pillows. Throw pillows are that tempting, easy way to quickly upgrade or renew your space, getting a new design in your space, feeling like the space is fresh without spending a crazy amount of money. But the reality is the novelty of throw pillows ends pretty quickly, and then you're left wanting more. And also personally, I recently upgraded my couch pillows right here. I don't think I'll be needing any new ones anytime soon, and even if one gets stained or something, I probably have enough to survive for the next year. Another set of things I'm not buying are belts. I already have a few belts for different purposes, like a black leather one for jeans, a brown leather one, and one stretchy one for going around dresses if I want to cinch in the waist. And I just don't think I really need more than that. Already I have a few options, and that's probably excessive. But I think it's so easy to see a cute belt online, to throw it in a cart, and to buy it. But if I already love the ones I have and I really have what I need, I don't need to go out buying more belts. I think it's a good example too of an accessory that can last for a long time that really you shouldn't have to replace over and over again, considering I do have a belt that even my mom used to use back in the day. I don't know, it just goes to show so often we're buying things just because we want something new or we like that novelty, but realistically what we already have will work just fine. A third one is winter boots or hiking boots. I feel like because I live here in Minnesota where there's a lot of snow, a lot of ice in the winter, I feel like I'm justified in getting new winter boots or even getting secondhand boots in the winter time to kind of freshen up my winter wardrobe. But realistically, I end up always grabbing the same pair of boots, and I am honestly set. And then as far as hiking boots go, I recently went on a trip to the Pacific Northwest that I think I've mentioned on another video, but I had these perfect Cole Haan hiking boots that worked great for the rain, for hiking, for a ways. And you know what? I'm also not a big hiker. Like, I'm not going out every weekend to hike, and I think this pair really works for me. So I'm going to stick with my current ones for the foreseeable future. A fourth one is books, at least as minimally as possible. I realize there may be a book here or there that I want to end up buying, but I actually have this app called Libby that's connected with my public library that allows me to kind of rent out or borrow books for a period of time without purchasing them. And they even include audiobooks, which I really like. And sometimes I have to wait a couple of weeks before I can gain access to a book, but I feel like I have enough of a backlog of other options that I can wait the couple of weeks and save the money on new books. But overall, my goal is to consume my book media via that app as much as possible. And also I say this because those audiobooks are so easily accessible there. I can even play them through my phone. And I've realized I'm just more of a book listener than a book visual reader. I also can really absorb the information in a slow, methodical way, and I just enjoy it more. So I'm kind of leaning into that, owning that this year, and also trying to borrow more than to buy. Another thing I'm not planning to spend money on this year are specialized cosmetic treatments, things like facials or getting my nails done. Now, I'll admit this isn't that much of a sacrifice for me because I never get facials and I rarely get my nails done. But unless there's a social reason to do it, like I'm doing it with a friend before a big event or something, I think that money I'd rather spend on other forms of self-care that are more impactful to my day-to-day life. For me, that's actually having professional cleaners come to my home every 2 to 3 weeks. It saves me a lot of energy, a lot of time. It keeps my whole home just a little bit more clean, which really improves my day-to-day mood and how I'm feeling in my space, especially since I work from home. And I just think if I can not spend money on these other kind of unnecessary areas that don't feel as fulfilling to me, at least, as far as self-care, I can put more money into those areas that really do impact my quality of life. Another category I'm not planning to spend money on right now are big ticket items. So things like a new car, a new home, a new computer. Now, granted, something may break and I may need to buy something new, but my hope is to just stick with the current big price items that I have right now. In general, if we can spread out the spending on expensive items, we're gonna end up spending less money in the long run. And so this year, I'm not planning at least to go out and buy any really expensive item for myself or my family. I say that now, I guess who knows, if something breaks down, maybe I'll need to. A seventh one is overly explorative hair care or skincare products, unless some kind of new skincare problem emerges for me or something. Now, what I mean by overly explorative, that's kind of a term I'm creating here, is those products that I'm just trying out for the sake of trying out, to see if they help my skin or my hair or whatever, that I'm kind of dabbling with for fun. I'm trying to create this arsenal of products that matches all my needs and all my little hair or skin problems. But I think sometimes I get overly explorative with it, where I'm kind of enjoying the process of just trying things out and seeing how they work and comparing different products. And it can end up leading me to spend way more money than I need to, and it doesn't necessarily solve the problems that I'm trying to solve. I want to stick with what works for my body. You know, I'm 32 years old. I've tried a lot of products. I don't need to be constantly dabbling in new products. It's an easy way to rack up a credit card. An eighth category is new tech. And again, this is if I can avoid it, if something doesn't break. But I really am content with the phone I have, with the computer I have, with the cameras I have, with all the tech I have. I don't have an Apple Watch or a smartwatch. I don't have any other tablets or anything, and I'm content with that. And I'm just gonna ride this out for the next year at least. Another area that I'm gonna try not to spend money on are items that have this tendency to migrate around my home. I have these certain items, little things that tend to move around my home, and then when I need them, I can't seem to find them. So things like hair clips or hair binders, things like nail files or scissors, little things that I use day to day that might move around my home. A good example is the hair clamp, because so often during the day, I'll want to throw my hair up, I'll use a hair clamp, and then at night I'll go up to bed and then take off the hair clamp upstairs, and then I have this small pile of hair clamps just sitting on my bedside stand, rather than downstairs where I tend to use them. And I think what can happen is then there'll be this illusion that I don't have enough hair clamps or something, or if I got more, it would make it easier for me because they end up upstairs. But realistically, they're just gonna keep ending up upstairs, and I'm gonna keep buying more and keep having too many, and then I'm gonna have a bigger pile of hair clamps. I'm just trying to be aware of not buying extras of items that tend to migrate or move around my house, and instead focus on putting things back where they go when I use them. A 10th item I'm not gonna buy this year is a new bathrobe. And this is simply because I already have one that I love, that works. I think it's easy to find a reason to buy a new bathrobe because sometimes they're cute or they look really comfy, or you can frame it as self-care. But realistically, I don't need a new one, so I'm not gonna buy a new one. An 11th one is new hair tools. I have a hairdryer I like, I have a curling iron I like. That's really all I need, and I don't need to keep trying new ones that promise to do the job better but won't really. A 12th category that I'm not going to spend money on is anything that I'm buying on a true whim. Anything that I haven't really thought about a bit, why I'm buying it, how it would fill a hole in my life if I really need it. If I take the time to question a purchase before I buy it, to make sure it's something I really, really want or really need, that will make my purchasing overall way more intentional, and ultimately I think I'll spend a bit less money. I think often this is just about slowing down the process of buying something and making guidelines for myself. Things like, okay, I'm going to try to just wait overnight, see if I still want it or feel that I need it the next day or the next week. Because so often purchases that I make, especially those little purchases, end up happening in the heat of the moment on impulse when I think something is cute or could be helpful, and I just buy it right there in the moment rather than thinking about how it actually fits into my life. And so I'm going to just focus on not buying anything on a whim. Now, there are a couple of things that I probably should have put on this list that I haven't, things like coats and cardigan sweaters. Those are really tough areas for me, but I'm not putting them on just because I have a feeling I might buy one cardigan sweater or one coat or something this year, and I don't want to be too harsh on myself when I fail. But I am also keeping those other categories in mind that I just want to be a little bit more aware of. What do I tend to spend money on unnecessarily? What kind of purchase regrets do I have? What kind of mistakes do I not want to make over and over again that lead to more spending? And I just want to be more aware of that as I move into the next year. Anyway, if any of you have things that you're going to try to avoid buying this coming year, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'd be interested to hear. It might get my wheels turning as well. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. You can also subscribe below for more videos like this. Both of those things really support the channel, so if you take a moment to like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for spending this little bit of time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!